This is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Sunday, December 28, 2025, here for my weekly cross-stitch update. I'm a little bit early, but this is when I can get away and stitch. Smokey is here too, so we'll see how helpful she is. I think she wants to play with things already. Yes, I think this will be my last Flosstube of the year, which is kind of crazy. She really likes this bag, and I think it's maybe the person who made this for me has pets. Maybe she can smell their pets. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here because I'm going to talk about what I worked on this week and my plans for the next 2 weeks. I won't be able to film next week because my mom and sister will be visiting, and then but there's also Bringingo starting on Thursday at the first of the year. And I have a lot of projects that I want to show start pictures for. I'll do that at the end, so in case you don't care about that, you can sign off, but I have a lot to share. First off, I have a little bit of Christmas kindness still to share. This one was from Dawn, Frosty X Stitch. Nice metallic-y there, so yay, Merry Christmas! Thank you! And then I got a package from Cookie that's kind of a regular thing now that I get something snowman related from Cookie, which is always fun. So she also threw in a lavender and lace pattern, Angel of Peace, I think it is, World Peace Angel. And some lotion, which is actually the kind of lotion I use, so I'm definitely very excited about that. A fun multicolored pen. These are always a lot of fun. The main snowman element. Oh, I think I scared Katie. But yeah, she also sent a bracelet, which is really pretty. And this cute floral snowman. Isn't that adorable? And I'm assuming this is crochet. And yes, it's very cute. Very small. And it has a 2025 term on its hanger. So I'll go get that on my tree, which is staying up a little longer this year because I want it up when my mom visits. So yes, you don't get to play with this, kitty. Okay, so yay, thank you so much for sharing your love at Christmas time. So let's see where to start. I guess we'll start with what I often start with, my Big Toe books of the Bible. This is my Sunday to and from church stitch. So my Sunday travel stitch. And I got one length of thread done today, which I just finished because I realized I hadn't finished it yet. And I wanted to show it before I came on. But I finished the Old Testament. Yay! So this is 25 count Through the Stones, Lugana by Bee Stitch Me, Called for Silks, 1/1 full cross. Finished Zechariah, did Malachi, and I was playing thread chicken to finish that eye. We're unthreading the needle with every pass through the fabric, but I got it done. So yay! The halfway point is like right there. I'm technically not halfway, but I'm very close because they've got the New Testament plus a verse at the bottom. So there's a little bit, I'm about halfway, roughly. And this one was called for WIPGO for January. So my WIPGO board this year is for medium-sized travel projects that I can work on while I'm waiting for my kids after school. And so this one will come out right away. And I chose this one over the other one that was called because the other one that's called is a New Start, which I'll show later. And so the first week of January, I probably won't get any time on this because the kids aren't back in school. But the second half of basically I have half the month on one, half the month on the other of my 2 WIPGO draws. So I'll do this one first, and then I'll do the other one to get the full half month on that one. I didn't work on asters at all, my appointment stitch. And I didn't work on Songbird Serenade either, but I'll show this briefly. This is my, oh no, I'll show this anyways. It doesn't have any progress. This is Counting Puddles. I'm doing bird 1. as a gift for my pastor's wife. And it's been my medium-sized travel stitch for like a month and a half. So this will be my main piece Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week for the rest of the month here. Not today, but, and this is my starting point on that, which is the same as what you saw last week, but go ahead and get a starting point. And this is 32 count ice Murano, 2 over 2 full cross. And so I hope to get a lot of progress. I also have this slotted in for like 3 or 4 prompts on my Bringingo board. So Whip Go is by Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on Flosstube. And she calls 2 numbers every month. And then Bringingo is a monthly, only in January game in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group. And they draw 1 number every day for the first 25 days of January. So I'll show my plans for that, for the Bringingo game later. But so I did get to work on Cats in the Rain though, by Madame Chantilly, because I am working on this when I chat with my sister on Tuesdays, usually for an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, depending. Let's see, let's get my stats out here. I did 154 stitches on this one. And here it is. It's 40 count linen in Vintage Stormy Night, and it's 1 over 2 full cross. Now at 94.10%. We have finished this kitty and started doing a little more white in this kitty. I might have done her boots, the soles of her boots. So I need to finish the white right here, and then this kitty is all the dark color, and then I'm done. So this is very close to a finish. I will either bust it out while I chat with her this Tuesday, or I'll finish it while they're here when they visit, starting Saturday. So we'll see. That will be probably when I see you next. This one will be done, which is fun. Then my kind of bonus side piece I've been working on all week has been the Festive mandala stitch along by Thread the Needle Designs, and I actually have a cover page now because all the parts have been released. Where is it? Here it is. And my printout's a little stronger than it is in real life, but this is roughly what it's going to look like. And you can find Thread the Needle Designs on Etsy. And Vonnie, she Thread the Needle here. I think she's Thread the Needle here on YouTube, and then My Stitch Diary on Instagram. So I need to find this one. So many projects over here. Here it is. I did not, this had more stitching than I was anticipating. So unfortunately, I will be going into the new year with another whip in my list, which I was hoping to not have to do. But it is pretty, and I'm going to keep chipping away at it as kind of a bonus piece through the end of the month, at least the next, including today, because I haven't really had my main stitchy time today, the next 4 days. And then starting in January, I'll be just throwing this in the pile and work on it when I can. I put it in my Bringingo prompt one time, because mine as well. And what else? I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say there. But this is where it's at now. This is a 32 count raw silver linen, which has the sparkly silver thread. It's 2 over 2 full cross, all the called for flosses. And I started to do it by the clues, which the clue would do all the way around, the same type of thing. But towards the end, when it was clear I wasn't going to keep up, I just focused on the top. So now that all of the clues are out, I am able to do my typewriter method and kind of pick right to left, top to bottom, and fill it in. So that's fun. So it'll be fun to see more of this come together. It is now at 37.19% complete. And it's nice to have it all one pattern in Pattern Keeper now. I can just focus on it all together. Kitty is very interested in your ornament there, Cookie. Okay, so this one will see more attention here in the rest of December. And then, what else? I think that's all. Oh yeah, my gridiron grind stitching for the Broncos. We played on Christmas Day, which was fun. And I did manage to stitch this on Thursday, on Christmas Day. So this is a Crazy Wonderful Owl Family, artwork by Anya Kai, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's charted for no background. I'm doing mine on Picture This Plus Glacier Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And I needed to do, we managed to win, but we only had 20 points. So I did 200 stitches, pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. I just stuck with the 200 even, and got a text. It's now at 15.09%. I think I just was working in eyeballs, I think. I don't think I did anything anywhere else. So picking symbols right around here and kind of filling in. There might have been some over here too in this eye. But yeah, there I am. So we play on the 4th. So I should hopefully get a few more stitches in then before I see you again. And He Is Risen, I didn't bring it to show you. I didn't do anything on it. I will work on that before I see you again too. For college basketball stitching, because we'll have a couple games. But we didn't play this week, so I didn't have any progress. And there was so much to show. I'm like, do I really want to bring that? I kind of went before pictures, but not that much compared to, I need all of these ones. I showed you He Is Risen last week. And I can just pull this one up here. This is this one for college basketball. So I should have at least 2 games, I think, before I come back to you, maybe more, to work on for that one. And that one's 1 stitch per point. The Crazy Wonderful for the football is 10 stitches per point. So that's fun. I'm enjoying the progress on that one. So that's all the kind of bonus stuff. So jumping into like my main projects, they didn't get a ton of stitches, as you might expect this week, but I did some, very little. Gift stitch this week was Ranunculus by Cooler Design Studio, designed by Nancy Rossi. This one I only got a little bit on Monday. I didn't get any done on Tuesday. And I got 161 stitches. This is now at 47.85%. So a lot lower than I usually do on this one. And I had over 200 something. Then I realized the dye lot was very different than the dye lot I had been using previous. So I had a new skein that wasn't new, it was old. Probably for my mom's stash or somebody else's stash that I had. So you can kind of even see some buzzes here that will be stitched back over. But there was some red here, and then I came over and was doing some red over here and realized it wasn't matching whatever red I'd had over here from my previous dye lot. I'm like, uh-oh. So thankfully I went and found in my stash another version of that color. And so I'll go back to it, but I never had time on Tuesday to actually restitch the area. So that's okay. Next month. All my gift stitches will be coming out 3 days every month in 2026, which will be nice. And then Wednesday, I didn't get any time on my Magic of Christmas on the 24th, but I did manage to get a little bit of time on Christmas. So I did a tiny bit of this one as well. Hi, Smokey, you want to be out maybe in a minute. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs artwork by Nadia Strokina. And this is a large one, but it's so pretty. I needed all of it. So I'm up here in like the icicles and the outside scene. Looks like there's gonna be a house with a chimney and everything. So this one's ginormous and it's on 40 count 1/1. So it's just gonna be big. I only did 156 half stitches, but it's something, and I think you should be able to see it because it was a blue. This is 40 count French lace, linen 1/1 half cross. It's now at 0.56%, so quite a ways to go. But I think it was a blue that was in here that I worked on just a little bit. So that's something. Now I can say I touched every project in my whip pile this year, which is very exciting. Everything has had a little bit of attention. And I hope to get to everything again this coming year. That'll be fun. And then my last piece that I worked on was Twisted Christmas Sampler, which I think I did some of this maybe in Christmas in July or something, or at the very beginning of this past year. So this one wasn't required, I don't think. It's just, I wanted to. And again, not a ton done. I was kind of hoping to get all of the pine cones done in this band and then I could go through and do all the beads. No. The pine cones are done in a queen stitch, which are not hard, but they are a little more time consuming, kind of like the stitch on my story that was just like twice as many legs for the same amount of space as a cross stitch. Similar thing. So this one took some time, and so I didn't get very many of those pine cones finished, but I did get some of them done, and that was nice. Let's see if I can find it for you. Here we go. This is also 32 count raw silver linen. Just a minute, Smokey. So it was fun to work on this for both pieces, the Festive mandala and this Twisted Christmas Sampler. This is Northern Expressions Needleworks. I don't know if I said that out loud. And I worked on these pine cones. And they have a nice texture to them because of all the queen stitches, multiple queen stitches per pine cone. So I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 queen stitches per pine cone. So not too bad, but it would have been fun to get more done, as always. So there is that one. And I didn't bring it up today because I haven't worked on it yet, but I will be working on my winter floral cross today for my last seasonal Sunday of 2025 and my last seasonal Sunday for a while because I'm not going to do seasonal Sundays in 2026. But I showed that last week. And I hopefully will work on that today. And then, let's see. And then, yeah, then for the rest of December, after that, I'll be working on Songbird Serenade as my main piece. So everything after that is crazy plans. So I will go let Smokey out, make her happy, and then I'll come back and share all my plans for the next couple weeks. Okay, so the year 2026 will be, for me, the year of the alphabet because there are 26 letters in our English alphabet. 2026, I had to. Charlene over at Flights of Fancy Stitchers came up with that concept. Well, the first person to voice it to me in one of her videos back in February. And ever since then, I was like, that's cool. I need to jump on that. So I've been doing a lot of my planning related to alphabets. So the first thing I will start probably on the 2nd, actually, is my temperature alphabets, which is my newest temperature design. You can find this in my Etsy shop, and I'll be up here in January to get started. So I like to use recorded temperatures, not predicted temperatures. So I will check the weather after the fact, and I usually do it once a week. So this will be my new Sunday to church travel piece, and I'll show you real quick here. I'm using, the colors are from Temperature Quaker and Temperature Stitches, so I have an old thread card here from those pieces, and I'm doing Frost Be Stitch Me 25 count, 1/1. Isn't it gonna be so pretty? I'm so excited. So this will be getting started here on this Sunday, probably this coming Sunday. I'll get that started. And I'll be able to do, it'll be the 4th on Sunday, so I'll be able to do 3 days, 3 little letters in the car. Maybe I'll bring books of the Bible along too, just in case I finish this and still have time in the car to do some stitching. So we'll see. So that's fun. That'll be my new Sunday to and from church stitch. And then, let's see, my Cats in the Rain is currently my Chat with My Sister stitch. So when that one is done, I will be starting a alphabet sampler to go along with 2026. So this is the little alphabet sampler that I found. It's by Jardin Prouvé, called Composition Florale 1. I'm doing this bigger one right here. It comes with all 3 of these. You could put them all together in a kind of a sampler-esque looking style, but I'm just gonna do the one square piece. And I've got it kitted up with whatever this is. Did I write it down? Oh yeah, 25 count What the Hey by Bee Stitch Me. I'm gonna do it with subbed out fancy flosses from my stash, 1/1 full cross. So this will be my new Call with My Sister stitch. There's another one I saw recently that I was looking back at pictures from earlier this year, and I'll put one up here too. There's one from, I think it's Sweet Wing Studio. I don't know what it's called, but I might do that one also when I'm done with this one. Depends on how long this takes. But these are small, so I'm thinking they won't take very long. And then I can, once they're done, I'll probably dip into whips after that to just try to chip away at things, getting things done. But that'll be fun. I'm excited to work on that when I chat with my sister, coming up here pretty soon. And then I have, let's see, my other Whip Go piece, which won't be started yet for Whip Go because it's going to get the second half of January for in the car waiting for my kids stitching. But this is also on my Bringingo board. So I figured, well, let's go ahead and show it. So this is Dimensions Gold Butterfly Forest. And I'm excited to work on this. And I'm doing all the kit, everything up here at the top. It'll be a bunch of half stitch tree, and then probably this butterfly I'll get started on first. So I've got the Ada and all the threads. So that'll be fun. Okay, so why don't I just go down the list of my Bringingo calls, because, well, actually no, hold on, because some of you might not care about this. There's a long list of things. My actual plans in January. I'll show those first, and then I'll do Bringingo, in case you don't care about Bringingo. Starting in January, also along with the alphabetical theme, I am going to work through my projects with a 2-day rotation on everything alphabetically. So this is going to be fun. I have 119 active whips, and so I needed, in order to have 2 projects every week for 52 weeks, I needed to get down to 104 to do my alphabetical 2-day rotation for the whole year. So what I did is I took my 119 whips, I took out my my Whip Go pieces that are going to be my medium-sized travel stitch. I took out my small travel stitch. I took out Cats in the Rain and Songbird Serenade, because they should be done very soon. So by the time I get to their letter in the alphabet, they will be done. And then I took out the things that I was planning to give a good month of time to for my daily 30 plans. So all of my Janet Stever produce patterns, there's 6 of those. I took those out because they're going to get a whole month all by themselves. I took out my Quaker Flag, that's going to get a whole month by itself, and Stitching Shelf will get a whole month by itself. So I took those out, and then I got myself down to 104. So I'll be going through them alphabetically, and I reserve the right to kind of shuffle them around, maybe within a week or within a month, you know, a few days here and there. If I have like travel plans or major life events that I need to kind of rearrange, this one will be better to take with me than this one, that kind of thing. But as much as I can, I want to do them in order. And so since I won't be coming back to film for 2 weeks, I'm going to show you 4. So there's 4 of these. The first 4 on my list. Oh, I forgot to bring, there's 2 Mirabilias that made this cut, and I forgot to bring their cover pages. So, oops. The first one is Adia the Garden Fairy. I can put the cover page up here. Alphabetically, this is my first project. And you saw this not that long ago, because I worked on it recently, I think. But here is my starting point on this one. This is a called for linen, I believe. It's a 32 count dirty by Zweigart, and it's 2/2 full cross. I worked in some of this Kreinik just like a month or 2 ago, maybe in November. So I will give this the first and the second as my main piece for that day. Most days I will have a daily 30 project that I want to give a half hour to, as the name implies. And then, which Bringingo will take over my daily 30 prompts for most of the month, that game and magazine monthly challenge. But all the rest of these will be whatever other time I have left when the daily 30 is over. And then after the 2 days on Adia, the Garden Fairy, I will do African Woman with Peonies, which makes sense. It's the first one in my binder. This is an Artisy chart, artwork by Frederick Brazil. And here it is. I also worked on this not that long ago too. They just kind of came up in my rotation recently. Now she's crying on the outside of the door. She cannot be satisfied. So here's my starting point. This is 25 count vintage cloth in, I need to write it on my paper. I forget. I'll try to remember for next time. But it's 2/1 half cross. So it goes pretty fast when I get into it. Last time I worked in her headscarf, so I'll probably continue picking symbols along through here on the 3rd and the 4th. So that'll be fun. My mom and sister will be here then. Oh, I just realized. I might have to rearrange what days I work on some of these, because the next one is my first gift stitch, which is Beachcomber, which I'm supposed to work on according to my strict schedule, the 5th and the 6th, which is when my mom will be here. So I can't work on it when she's here because it's for her and it's a surprise. So I might have to flip-flop and work on something else while she's here. Or get creative and work on it when she's not around, but that's probably not going to happen. But Beachcomber, I had planned to work on for 3 days, 5th, 6th, and 7th. You know, ranunculus would be easy to do. Why don't I flip-flop it? You just saw ranunculus. I'll go ahead and flip it. And I'll do ranunculus this coming week as well, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and do Beachcomber at the end of the month. Because, yeah, I can't work on this one. My mom's here. That won't work. It just occurred to me. Then we'll go back to Alphabetical Whips, and the next one is April Fairy. Quick Stitch April Fairy. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, our artwork by Hannah Lynn, not Anna, Hannah. I have a lot of projects over here. This one I am doing with kind of a very meticulous stitch by stitch diagonal method, where I am stitching only where I come up in a hole with 1 or 2, 0 or 1 threads already in it, and then go down in holes with 2 or 3 stitches already in it, threads already in it. So it's very line by line, stitch by stitch, rethreading a lot. It's not something I do all the time. It's the only one I'm doing it on, but it is kind of a fun, methodical experience. So I'm sticking with it for this one project. It is kind of fun, but as a result, it doesn't make quick progress, but hopefully I can see some good attention on this. Will come out 8th and the 9th as my main piece. So This is a 28 count rose Monaco, and it's a 1/1 full cross. And I do have a video tutorial of how I stitched this particular one if you're interested. Maybe I'll try to put a little thing up here for to link to that tutorial video where I explain myself and you can see what I'm doing. Might make more sense. Then my other memorabilia that I forgot to bring the cover picture for is Ashley's Roses. Not that one. Here it is. So this one will get the 10th and the 11th. And I believe this is also called for, I guess I'll go down here, 2/2 full cross, 32 count linen in cream, I believe. And I'm filling in kind of all this part. From here over, I think is done on the top bits, but all of this has lots more colors to do. So hopefully I make some nice progress on that one and can get into the girls soon. That would be nice. All right, so that's all of the main projects I have slotted until I will hopefully come back and film on the 12th. So for Bringingo, again, like I said, is part of the Magazine Monthly Challenge cross-stitch group on Facebook. It's a monthly challenge, so they'll be calling a number every day in the month of January. So we'll probably get the first number the evening of the 31st. So this particular bingo board is a list of prompts, and I have my little board like written out here with all the numbers randomized on my board. And so everybody, can potentially get a bingo at different times. I wrote down, I printed this out just straight up and then put the whip itself on my little small board over here. So the actual prompts are here. So the first prompt was something, most of these are a whip or a new start. I don't know if any of them have to be a new, there was one new start on here. Most of them say whip or new start. So I'll just say probably project because it's faster. Something that's a travel piece. I'm gonna do Songbird Serenade for that one. And any of the Songbird Serenade projects, I would like to get that project done before the end of Bringingo. So if any of the things that I have slotted for Songbird Serenade get called after I finish it, I will pull something else. So if I have two other things or three really, for the travel piece one that I could do my Asters, I could do Books of the Bible, or my other WIPGO piece for January, which is Butterfly Forest. So any of those three could fit in here if Songbird Serenade is done by the time number 1 gets called. Number 2, something that reminds you of growth. So I chose Bees on a Flower because you need the bees doing the pollen to get the flowers to grow and fruit to grow. All the things. This is by Ina Badenko, and I think I got this I think this was purchased on mybobbin.com. I'm not sure. It might have been somewhere else. So I'm not sure if you can get it or not, but I have it and I love it. I am working mine on a 28 count Berkshire Hive even weave, 2/2 full cross, unless there's half stitches called for or whatnot. And this is a very, very faint Berkshire Hive. You can kind of see a little bit of beehive on there. So not very much going on, but I have the top. I started in the middle and I'm working my way up. So now I can do my typewriter method from the top down. So you can see the half stitches here in the background, and I'm working in some of these things. So yeah, so that's my starting point. That will get a half hour. So not much. But a lot of these are just, I wanted to try to fit the prompt with anything on my whip list, which I thought was fun to, just have fun with it and not stick to specific things. there were only stuff that I needed to work on in January. I thought, let's just open the floodgates. Let anything come in. The next one was a Whip or New Start that has flowers. And I do have a new start I would like to do called Garden of Quilts. So I'm like, sure, this one counts. This one has flowers. This is by Fat Quarter Shop, designed by Lori Holt. And so I have mine kitted up with some 25 count V-Stitch Me in Willow and fancy flosses that are similar to what's called for. So I'm excited about that one. So this one will only get a half hour whenever it gets called, but I will potentially, I could make this my call stitch too when the alphabet sampler or samplers are finished when I chat with my sister, because this is a perfect type of thing for that too. And then Whip or New Start, where you roll a dice and then the whatever number comes up is how many like motifs or elements you work on. So for that, I was going to do books of the Bible because it's easy to do a number of letters, even up to 6. It doesn't have to be this, you know, giant things. So each letter, that counts. Number 5, something that makes you want to bundle up. And I thought, I might have had something else in here before, but I switched it to one of my new starts that I already did in December, Winter Cookie Party. Because you make Christmas cookies when it's cold outside, so. And I cropped mine to only do this plate. Cropped out all the background beyond just that blue plate. Here it is. I'm doing mine on 25 count Vintage Country Mocha, 25 count Lugana, and it's 1/1 full cross. And that's my starting point. So I'll give this another half hour when it gets called for Bringingo. So that'll be fun. Then it was a Whip or New Start with variegated floss. And this could really be anything. But what popped into my head was my heirloom stitching sampler by Victoria Sampler. Because like the floss for the Alphabet is a highly variegated, a lot of these bands have a highly variegated floss. So I thought, sure. I'm working in this scene right here, I believe. And I am doing mine on purple. So it is a little bit different than what's called for. I have, again, floss from my stash. Some is similar to what's called for, some is adjusted based on my purple fabric. So here is this one. And so you can see this, all of these letters, that is one floss. It goes from dark gray to like a lightish purpley gray, all one floss. So, and it's, yeah, it's a nice rich purple. So I did the trees already, so now I can start working on like the people or whatever in that scene. So that'll get a half hour. And then Whip or New Start that someone else chooses for me. And this one ended up being one of the freebies from Stitch is So Beautiful over the course of December. They had a new pattern that came out every day in the month of December on their Facebook group. And this is one my daughter like fell in love with immediately. Oh, it's so cute. So I decided, sure, why not? It's not very big. I'll start this for the Cute Christmas Owl by Raven Digitals, charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. So I'll be starting that one. And I have a piece of 25 count white even weave. I think this is actually cloud vintage cloth. So 1/1 full cross. And then Whip or New Start from a magazine. And really, I think possibly the only one I currently have in a magazine is my Mayday Merriment by Joan Elliott. This is Cross Stitch Gold, July 2010. And I have it with flosses, fancy flosses from my stash because I thought it would be fun to do this one not charted with the like three shades per dress and 3 shades per hair color, but have it be one variegated. And so far so good. This is a 32 count Lugana by Color and Cotton in Spring Morning, I believe. And I think all of their 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so all their faces and hairs, I believe, are done. Not backstitched, but stitched. So I need to work on some more ribbons, some more, could do some more skin, maybe, and then some dresses. So yeah, maybe I'll work on, I don't know what I'll work on. Oh, there's some flowers I could do in some of their hair too. So we'll see it. That'll get a half hour. And then Whip or New Start with a bird. I figured Songbird Serenade could go in there because I need to get that done. So any little bit I could do on that one. And if Songbird Serenade is done, I was thinking I could do, well, potentially I could do this one some more. Cute Christmas Owl. I could also pull out my Hummingbird in Roses, which I don't, yeah, I didn't bring that one because it's a backup. But my Hummingbird in Roses that I started for my birthday would count. That's this one. But I have others probably that have birds, so shouldn't be too hard to sub that out if I need to. Whip or New Start that reminds us of our favorite book, which I would say is Mandy by Julie Andrews. And so it's a children's story, but it's very sweet. Where is it? Here it is. And I thought the Secret Garden Mystery Stitch Along by Historical Sampler Company is all out now, but I'm not done with it. That kind of reminded me of that story. It's about an orphan girl who finds a cabin in the woods and she tries to fix it up and make it all cute, and she plants flowers and all that. So it's a very sweet story. So I thought I could give this one some attention. This is a 28 count Mystery Green by Live and Die LA, 1/1 full cross with all the called for DMCs. So that's the starting point on that one. Give that a half hour. And then Whip or New Start I've been avoiding. And this one, I thought it would be funny because I had so much trouble making progress on this in the month of December that I finally decided, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to get this done. Let's just put it away. And the whole last week I was supposed to work on it, I was avoiding it. So My Story by Jeanette Douglas. Again, fancy floss from my stash that I subbed for what was called for. And this will get a half hour. And I will probably work in this one, these eyelets, to try to get make progress on the eyelets. And I have a bunch of strings because there's 3 different colors in this chunk here, and I'm parking them. Get down, there we go. 32 count lamb's wool linen by Witchelt. 2/2 if it's a full cross. A lot of one-stranded specialty stitches. So this is the end of the design. So I have a bunch more little motifs right here. I have all these eyelets that will continue out here. One small band of I think herringbone or something, and then some birdhouses or something at the bottom. So there's a good amount left because it's fiddly, so it's not gonna go quick. But hopefully I'll get more of these eyelets done when this comes out for Whip that I've been avoiding. And then TV show of your choice. Stitch on a Whip or New Start while you watch your favorite TV show / Flosstube. So I thought I'd do one of my favorite Flosstubers, which there are several people like this that I try to watch almost as soon as they come out. But the one I thought of for this prompt, because I had a project associated with her for Flosstube Frenzy back in the day that I still would like to put time into, I thought would be Winter Rose for Dina over at Sit Stay Stitch. So this is a lavender and lace, and this is one that's close-ish to a finish. So I'm kind of wanting to just keep plugging away on that and getting it closer. This is a 46 count linen by Lakeside Linens, vintage Misty Rain, I believe. And it's 1/2 full cross, except for the couple blends. There's a green blend and a burgundy blend that I'm just doing 2 crosses, 2/2, even though it's thick. But it's working, so I'm gonna stick with it. So there's that one. I give that a half hour. Then whip order start in the same season as my birthday. My birthday is in September, so which is autumn. So I'm going to do Autumn Calico Cat, which has been a little while since I worked on this. This is by Vivsters on Etsy. This is a, sorry about Smokey. She's right outside the door. I don't want to keep letting her in, letting her out. I think it's hard because the whole family is home. So she hears me in here, but when she's in here, she hears them out there. And so it's just, it's hard. The life of a cat. So this is on a 25 count navy even weave. And it's a 1/1 full cross with the called for DMCs. And I'm doing it typewriter method from the top down. And it's just so fun how vibrant they are popping off the navy. So pretty fun. So I'll give that a half hour. And so this is not full coverage. It is meant to be stitched on a dark blue background. So that's fun. And then whip or new start that was gifted to me or that will be gifted to someone else. And that again will be Songbird Serenade since it's going to be a gift. If I finish Songbird Serenade before the prompt gets called, I was thinking of doing Simpsons because it's been a long time. Yeah, Simpsons is a backup, so I didn't bring it, but this is the one for my husband that I would have about 1.5 years left till I want this done. So I gotta keep chipping away at it once in a while to get that finished. Where am I? Whip or new start from a non-US designer. I have quite a few, but the one I thought of, another one that I just didn't get to work on recently when I wanted to, is Tulip House. This is by Vitalia Mushchuk, I think is Ukrainian. Cross-stitch patterns with 1 T actually on Etsy. And I wanted to work on this for Dina's birthday actually, Sit Stay Stitch, in December, and I just ran out of time that day. So I can at least give it a half hour now. Oh, wrong one. That's on another blue fabric. This is it. Sorry, Smokey. Here is this one. Do I want my... Yeah, that's good. So it's a 32 count ice linen, and it's 2/2 full cross for the most part. There's some half stitches in here, and I have this tulip back stitched as well, which is always fun. So I'm doing this typewriter method, picking symbols. Again, I started in the middle like I like to do and worked my way to the top, and now I'm doing top down. So there's that one. Whip or new start, I was inspired to start by someone else, and this is Butterfly Forest, which I was inspired to start from Charlene over at Flights of Fancy Stitchers. She was discussing how she wanted to start, hers is already a whip, and she wanted to come back to it and give it some concerted effort this year. And I thought, you know what? I have that one in my stash. I should pull it out and work on it too. So she inspired me to start that one. That was the Dimensions Gold I showed earlier. That's also my Whip Go piece for this month, which is fun. So that one should get a nice solid start here in January. So the next one is Whip or New Start with a border, and I thought I could throw Festive Mandala Sal in there. That's got a border. Give that a half hour. Whip or New Start from one of my favorite designers. I've got lots, but Nora Corbett is one of them. So I went ahead and picked my actual Nora Corbett, not Mirabilia. Mirabilia is the larger brand of Nora Corbett. If the pattern is actually called Nora Corbett, it's usually a lot smaller. And this is currently the only one I have going. I have that one you can kind of see is a Christmas elf fairy. Then there was the letter fairies that I have been doing for my nieces, which I probably this June, I'll probably need to start that one, the next one. But this is Foxglove, and this is a blue-gray linen by Zweigart, and it's 2/2, 32 count, 2/2 full cross. That's my starting point. She's so pretty. So I started this one with Colette, the Highway Stitcher. So when we were on retreat in Las Vegas, so we bought this at Stitcher's Paradise. Oh, here it is. I need to get this serged. I I think I started at the retreat and just never got around to going back and serging it when I got home. Okay, so Whip Orney Start has 15 or more colors. That describes almost every single project I have. So I'm like, well, let's go big or go home and pick one of my max color projects, because why not? So, oh yeah, I guess that's next. So I chose Bits and Bobbins Max Colors, which is one of my newer starts. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Elizabeth Welker. I'm up here in the background, but it is still very colorful. So, and I love the detail in this. It's very pretty. They came out with a mini recently. My stack is falling. That actually looks pretty decent. So if you don't want this one that's quite this big, you could, you know, try that one. Here it is. I'm doing mine 40 count, 1/1, half cross, and this is a natural, I believe. 1/1 half cross on this natural linen, and that's my start. So yeah, I think I started this past year in 2025, so it'll be nice to give it a little more attention. Only a half hour, but it'll get its 2-day rotation in February, it looks like, which will be fun too. And then, what's next? New start on a new to you designer, a designer I've never stitched before. So this ended up being a Stitches So Beautiful pattern because I've never stitched one of them before. And I ended up with 2 more Stitches So Beautiful charts on my Bringingo board. So by the time this prompt gets called, it may not be a new to me designer, but when I filled out my Bringingo board, it is a new to me designer. So I'm counting it. And I have chosen Everheart Mosaic by the World of Love. And it's so pretty. I got the big version. And their big version is 600 by 555. It's still big, but it's not like supersized Hades or 999 or something like that. It's not that big. It's still big, but not that big. So I have a nice big piece of, I'm actually gonna do this 28 count of the Rose Monaco 1/1 full cross, because I think the mosaic-y tile style will look best with full crosses. So I'll get that one started when that's called, and then whip this closest to a finish. Likely Songbird Serenade. If that one gets called when I've already finished Songbird Serenade, I'll have to come, you know, figure something else out. I'm not 100% sure because Cats in the Rain should be done by then. Yeah, so I don't know. Let's Get Spooky maybe is pretty close to a finish. So I'll have to decide if Songbird Serenade is already finished when number 21 gets called. I'll have to, you know, figure something else out. Number 22 is another roll the dice one, having somebody else roll a dice and then times the number by 100, and that's how many stitches I need to do on the project. So that could be up to 600 stitches, which is a lot. So if I were thinking I should have done a half cross project, but I didn't. Instead, I did my Quaker flag. This is going to be my focus piece in July for Daily 30 because it's our 250th anniversary of our country. So this is the USA Quaker flag by Bibsters. And it's simple because there's only a few colors. So I'm hoping I can get a good amount of stitches done quickly. It is a full cross project, but I'm stitching this on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, and it's 1/2 full cross. And I'm using, I believe I'm using the border color in DMC that they called for, but and then B5200 for the white, and then the red and the regular blue are Fancy Flosses that I subbed out instead of the DMCs. So there's some movement in there, which is really fun. So that's fun. I'll give it a little bit of time here in January and then a lot of time in July. What's next? New Start, a whip or New Start, I've had to frog, which is like ripping out your stitches. I have to frog or something green. So I went ahead and chose Stitcher's Retreat because this is one that I had a public need to frog. This is Heaven and Earth Designs. It was a former freebie. I don't think you can find it anymore on their website. Golden Kite or some other design artisty maybe might have this because it's an antiquity pattern, but it is under a different name. And I don't know where it is, but anyways. I am cropping mine down to only do this center portion. And at one point I was doing it extreme cross country, and the main color was, I think, 3371, really dark blue, dark brown. I had some brown like down, I think this triangle right here actually, that ended up being off and I had to take it out. So I ended up filming a unpick with me video that you can find up here. I'll put that one here too. That was tips and tricks for taking out stitches. And so I figured, well, this is a very public thing I've had to frog. You can still see, and actually unpicked the stitches from my original upper left start before I cropped it, and then I took out and then cropped it down. So this has had a good amount of frogging. So you can see some frogging from that first page, and then down here is also some frogging residue. So, but here it is now, and I'm not gonna do extreme cross country anymore. I'm just stitching wherever I feel like it. So this is a 28 count rose Monaco as well, 2 over 1 half cross. And sometimes I've been focusing on typewriter method in the background. Sometimes I pick colors in the ladies. So I'll probably do, I still have some thread on my needle up here. So I'm probably just gonna keep going in the background. There's a lot of background still, even though I cropped it. And this is a button that was in my stash from a long time ago that I turned into a needle minder. So yeah, so that one will get a half hour at some point here in January. Whip or New Start that I would hang in the kitchen. This one was originally gonna be one of my produce patterns, but recently the Heaven and Earth Designs Stitch Along for 2026, they released all the patterns a few days early. We got them all yesterday. And they also decided to go ahead and gift all the participants the exclusive Amy Stewart Stitcher's Retreat pattern. Let's see if I can find it for you. So this is only available to those who were in the group, but we were supposed to have to do one page on our on the Stitch Along chart to earn this one by the end of the year. And they ended up deciding to go ahead and give it to everybody. So that's what that one looks like. It's a fun like cabin look with snowy windows, snowy scenes out the windows, called Amy's Sanctuary of Stitching. And so I was gonna do the Wise and the Brave, which I'll show you that one too, I guess. Yeah, that one is in this one. That's this one, the little owl and the robin. But since the requirement is no longer there to stitch a page to get the Amy Stewart chart, I'm thinking, well, I like Wise and the Brave. It's very cute. I might stitch it in the future, but I have a lot of the other things I'm starting right now. And then this other one was another freebie from Stitch Is So Beautiful that was really calling my name. And I'm like, you know, I'd kind of rather start that one. So I'm gonna start this one instead. This is Cookies and Cocoa by Dream Cafe Art, charted by Stitch Is So Beautiful. And it's so pretty. It's very my colors. It's like all the treats at Christmas time. Peppermint hot chocolate is yummy. I love all of that. So that one was just my favorite of all the freebies that came out this December. And then the Cute Christmas Owl was my daughter's favorite. But this one, I'm like, I'd really like to start this one. So I don't have a piece of fabric cut for it yet, but I'll be doing this one for number 24 on Bringingo. And I will not be starting the Hay 2026 Stitch Along at this point. I have the chart probably will start it eventually because it is really cute. But at this point, I'm not going to, because I'm going to do a lot of other starts. So last on the Bringingo prompt sheet was a Whipper New Start that has a version of the 2026 Pantone color of the year, either the fabric or the floss, which ended up being, I forget what the color name was, Cloud Dancer maybe, and it's just basically white. I was like, well, what's the fanciest white project that I have? And I thought, I have Twisted Band Sampler that's on the Called For linen, which is a fancy white, which is a bisque from Lakeside Linens. This is the original Called For fabric before Lakeside Linens was as hard to get as I think it is now. So it's a 32 count bisque by Lakeside Linens. And I thought that would be fun to do that for that color. And actual stitching is very colorful, but the fabric counts for the Pantone color of the year of Cloud Dancer. So I think that looks like a good Cloud Dancer color, right? So I will maybe hopefully try to finish in a half hour, probably not, but that'd be cool if I could finish that band of stitching that I had started earlier this year. But so that's all my Bringingo prompts. So I don't know what order they will be called, so that's why I brought them all to show you. I have an extra sleeve here, and I don't know, I'll have to maybe when I'm watching my video back, I'll figure out which one that one went to. So yeah, I don't know what order these will get called in, so I wanted to show befores of all of them, and then I'll show afters throughout the month of January, depending on when they get called. So that's that. I also have, I still haven't done the statistics to update my Pattern Keeper statistics to find the projects that have the least amount of stitches remaining in Pattern Keeper, but I still might hop on that with the old season of the Great British Bake Off that Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, is doing a little game of, and do very minimal stitch counts on those projects. So I don't have all of those to show you because I didn't actually do my statistics to know what those are. But they're probably things you've seen not that long ago, so I can hopefully go back and find some befores if I end up jumping on that, or I'll just wait to start the stitching on that until I film again, but not necessarily. So there's possibly going to be a little bit more to show on that front, but I think that's everything. Has it been long enough? I hope you have a wonderful new year and enjoy celebrating whatever that looks like for you. And I will see you again in 2 weeks in 2026, the year of the alphabet. Happy stitching. Bye.